12 Years a Slave. We were talking a little bit about this off camera. Can you tell me what your take on the movie was?
It was interesting. It wasn't what I expected, but it was pretty much of a good experience for me, I should say.
What did you expect?
I expected more of details I would learn in a history book or stuff like that, but it wasn't that. It was more of an inside story or something else.
Now, Seville, tell me what did you take from this movie? You compared it to Roots.
Correct. I expected, a lot more violence. I was comparing it to Roots as far as being a 21st century version. Of course, the difference was at the time, Roots was a lot more violent for its time than 12 Years a Slave. Currently, 12 Years a Slave is no more violent than an actual video game. I know video games that my children play and most children play, they're a lot more violent than 12 Years a Slave.
The movie did have some violent aspects, though.
Correct. It has some very violent aspects, and it was more emotional than violent for me, and I think her as well. And that a lot of it, we're so far removed from the whippings and the beatings. It's and the graphics are like amazing when you see the woman's skin split open and things of that nature. Those are things I didn't expect, but I expected to see a lot more of it just based on the rumors.
There's been a lot of conversation about the violence in the film. Was the violence too much for you?
It wasn't too much for me, but the violence showed the extent that they went through to control the minds of these people, right? To make sure these people, the movie started out beating the guy who kidnapped him began to beating him, and in the process of beating him, wanted him to admit that he was a slave and that he didn't have a name. So at the outset, the idea was to break these people down to the least common denominator, where they will only do what they're told to do without question. And so I think the violence and the many ways they came up with violence shows the extent that people will go to in order to control other people.
Take me through the experience that you had watching the film.
Well, one of my more stronger experiences was seeing the woman being separated from her children. When I saw Roots, I was probably at the same age my daughter is now, at 12. And so it wasn't as deep then because I wasn't a parent yet. But as a parent, seeing one parent being separated from their children, for me, it was just amazing. I could not imagine being without any of my children. And at that time, it seemed that she cried and mourned for a very long period of time. She never got over it, as I don't think I would. So for me, that was the most powerful part of the movie.